Sky Sports, and Keith Downey.
Steve, you put a lot of work into that to end up with nothing. Are you feeling quite frustrated? It was defensive lapses that cost you again.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I was delighted the way we played, but unfortunately, we're struggling defensively with the players we've got missing. So I don't want to make that an excuse, but yeah, frustrated because the way we actually played, I couldn't have been more delighted with the football they played and the application they showed. But unfortunately, we're a bit naive. We're a bit naive and we're defending at times.
I mean, you're up against a guy who's got 2 goals tonight, scoring his 200th and 201st for Spurs. He's beaten the likes of Cristiano and Wayne Rooney to 200 goals. So it's a tough ask, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, hey, there's the difference. There's the difference, that quality up the top end of the pitch. And but up until then, we've kept him very, very quiet, and he goes away with 2 goals, and that's a centre forward and the goal scorer. And while they're weight in gold. So, but I think we could have done better, certainly with the second goal, just a minute after we've scored a really good goal ourselves. But on the whole, we played very well. I couldn't have been more delighted with the problems that we had. But unfortunately, sometimes you don't get the result that you need or you deserve.
I guess with the problem, Steve, that you do have, and at least another one injury now tonight, you kind of just need to get to the end of the season now, don't you?
And that's the problem that we face as well. With the turnaround being so quick, we've got to look at even being ready for next season. Fab Shaw's gone away to hospital. Jamal Lascelles had an operation on his ankle yesterday. Fab Shaw's gone to hospital with we think a dislocation of his shoulder. So, yeah, in that respect, it's been very difficult. We're down to the bare bones, and to have 8 and 9 people missing is awful.
Any idea, Steve, how long Jamal will be out for with that ankle operation?
No, we're not going to put a time scale on it, but you would think any ankle operation at least is going to be 6 to 8 weeks at least. So we hope that he's back for the start of next season, but we'll have to monitor him and see where he goes.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Keith. We're using the raise hand function. Anyone else with a question? Miles Starford, Shields Gazette.
Sir Maximum, has he got a problem too?
Yeah, he's we think he's nicked his calf. So, yeah, that's a problem too.
Luke Edwards.
Right, can you hear me? I'm fine here. Sorry, it's Simon's fault. The season does seem to be fizzling out a little bit. You're running out of bodies. This is kind of what you were guarding against when safety was assured. You didn't want this to happen.
Yeah. I mean, but look, we've been beaten twice off Man City and we've been beaten up Tottenham tonight. We always knew we were going to have a difficult run in who we had, so it was important that we finished that off the way we did. But I couldn't have faulted them in their attitude and their application and the way we played today. You could argue maybe we weren't good enough on the night, but we gave everything that we could, considering the problems that we've had. Then I couldn't have been more pleased with the performance the players showed and their application to it. Second half at Watford wasn't acceptable, but they've shown again today that they're still trying their best to get something and finish high as we possibly can.
Lee Ryder.
Hi, Steve. Do you think there's a little bit of a concentration issue going on? I mean, conceded so quickly after getting back in the game.
Yeah, I mean, look, we'll analyse it again tomorrow, but we could have stopped the cross, and and I think Emile knows he's there, but was more concerned about him getting in front of him and should have been against him. So, as I said, with the problems we have had defensively and how we did it, then we've got unfortunately too many central defenders missing. So on another day that might have been a different scenario. But look, I don't want to point the finger at any, but yes, a couple of the goals we could have done better. But the overall, the way we played, I thought we played very well.
Chris Conway.
Steve, it's always really hard to tell with the nature of this, doing these press conferences over video call. But I get the sense tonight that after 3 defeats on the bounce, that was probably the toughest one to take. You seem a bit deflated, a bit flat. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, it was the toughest one. I couldn't ask for anything more from them. And I thought we played really well at Watford in the first half. Look, we've had an awful night at Man City, and we had an awful second half against Watford in the last 8 games or whatever it's been. So, look, I'm frustrated because we've played really well against a very, very good Tottenham team who are, let's be fair, pushing for Europe and one of the top sides in the country. So the way we played, I couldn't have been more pleased. Frustrated that we've given away, a couple of soft goals again, which unfortunately sticks with me a bit, unfortunately.
Into the last couple of questions, Ian Murtagh.
Steve, you said you wanted to finish the season with momentum. Are you in danger of having, for want of a better phrase, negative momentum, and the 3 successive defeats undo a lot of the good work that you
look, Ian, we've lost to Spurs and one of them's Man City. So, let's put it into perspective a little bit. We knew we had a really tough start, we had a tough finish, but the way we played today, we just got to keep that. We've got to go down to Brighton and see if we can get a result down there, and then we've got the champions at home. So we knew 3 out of the last 4 were the top teams in the country, and we'll see how we go against them. And but the way we played, Ian, and I was pleased the way we played and the way we played at Watford first half. So we'll keep doing much of the same thing.
And last question, Scott Wilson.
Steve, just on the injury front, do you put it down to kind of bad luck, or do you think that it's tougher for a club like Newcastle and clubs of a similar state who maybe can't make the 10, 11 changes that a City could make or a Liverpool could make? Is it harder for you to play this many number of games?
Certainly it benefits the bigger teams where they can make 5 or 6 changes and their strength and doesn't change. We haven't got that luxury just yet. So, but look, when Fab Shah goes over and unfortunately dislocates his shoulder, then you've got your arguably your 2 fittest boys who we've got in Books and Sean Longstaff and Isaac Hayden, nick a hamstring. Then, it's the consequence of players playing tired and not recovering enough. And we haven't got, as I said, that luxury of changing 5 or 6. So it's a frustration, but we knew that the schedule was hectic. And we'll just batten down the hatches and get on with it and try and finish as high as we can.